Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer. Today's show is brought to you by ibranson.com, where you can find lots of information about Branson shows and attractions. So if you're looking for the latest schedules, go to ibranson.com. Our guest artist today is the one and only Dean and Sheila Dutton with the Duttons show. We're so excited to have them on. You know, recently I went to Las Vegas. And I had a convention to go there. And after going there, it makes me appreciate Branson even more. Branson is a special place, and there's no place like this where you can bring the whole family and be entertained. And we're going to talk to one of those families that's helping to entertain families here in just a moment. We'll be back with Dean and Sheila Dutton.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need ibranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at ibranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. ibranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson, and today on the show, for the very first time ever, we have Dean and Sheila Dutton. It's just so awesome to have you guys here.
Well, thank you.
You have been very impactful in the music industry in Branson, and you guys have the Dutton Theater, and your kids are performing. We're going to talk all about the show, but we want to go way back, and we want to talk how did you get into this business?
Well, we thought music was a very interesting and enjoyable part of life. So we decided to start our kids on violin lessons, not just for the music, because we wanted them to learn discipline as well. So we would get up every morning, Sheila and I, and practice with the kids a couple of hours before school started.
Yeah, but you weren't planning to have a show in Branson. You were a professor of economics, correct?
That's right. We weren't planning anything professionally as far as music is concerned. We didn't have in mind that our kids would be professional musicians, and we for sure didn't even enter our minds that we would end up as entertainers.
We were not the typical couple who liked music and wanted our family to grow up to be musicians. It was the discipline idea that really caught our attention. And I still have friends from high school or whatnot who says, I didn't know you could sing. I didn't know you were interested in music. That was the last thing you would catch me doing in public.
And so so they're learning. So how does it progress that you guys are, starting to do shows or whatever?
Well, it was quite an interesting progression. Our two oldest, when they were 9 and 10, their teacher wanted them to audition to solo with the symphony. And so it wasn't even our idea, but they practiced really hard. The judges loved what they heard, and they won the audition to solo with the symphony. And it made a big splash because of their ages. They played a movement from a Vivaldi concerto. And the next morning, a gentleman showed up at our doorstep. He had been to the concert, and he said, I want to teach your kids a different kind of music. And he said, I love bluegrass. I'm classically trained, but I love bluegrass.
And old-time fiddle.
Right. So he said, it won't cost you anything. So I thought, okay, why not? And he came in and showed the kids a few fiddle tunes. Well, because of their training and their ear training and musical training, they picked it up really fast. So the next week he came back and he brought a banjo and a mandolin with him, and they just had a ball. They learned one tune after another. And so the kids decided that they wanted to play bluegrass together on the side.
And how old were they at this point?
Well, Jetty was 10, and Timothy was 9 at that time. And so it really only involved the oldest 3. The youngest were so small that they were just barely learning how to hold an instrument.
Okay.
And so at when we first started performing, they came to me and asked me if I'd play bass, and I said, no way, I'm not a musician, I'm not going to make a fool of myself. But they talked me into it, and it was actually Timothy, my son, who took the time to teach me how. And he was such a great teacher, and so patient with me.
So at that point we formed the Dutton Family Bluegrass Band.
Okay.
And we learned a whole lot of songs, had fun playing together, and other people heard about what we were doing. We were asked to perform at church gatherings, picnics, and dinners, and then other people would ask us to perform. All of this unprofessionally. We didn't charge anything, but we got so busy that we decided we needed to charge a little bit, so we started out charging $25 a performance.
$25 a performance. There you have it.
So
wow.
the first really big thing was that we were approached to accompany a dance group to France for what they called the Children's Festival for Peace. And we were asked to represent the United States in that festival. We had 13 countries that were involved in that, and we spent almost a month in France, and we thought, this is great. We'll just do this one thing, and we will go and we'll have a great time in France, and the children will remember it the rest of their lives. Oh, yeah. So we packed up, went to France, and we were a sensation. The United States did not know that the band could be adults. They thought the music had to be performed by children, and the dancers had only performed to recordings. And but as soon as we got there, all focus was on our kids. We were on national magazines. We were in the national biggest network in France, and we were always the one that the concert would end with, because the hoedowns were peppy, and so 1 o'clock at night we'd go on, and we just went all over France performing together, and we thought that would be the end of it. We had talked to an agent in Philadelphia, and she asked if we would do a couple of weeks for her, and we told her we would when we got back, because Dean's semester would not have started by.
You were still a professor when all this was happening.
That's right.
Now, were you playing in the group as well by this point? Okay.
Yeah, I was the guitar player.
Okay.
Rhythm guitar.
Yeah. So at some point you had to say, I'm quitting teaching, right?
Right.
It didn't happen right away, because
this was 87, 88 when this happened, that I finally decided, after we had become professional, I decided to retire. So in 1993, I gave up teaching and research and went full time with the family.
So it's like a second career.
That's right. We were touring all over the country at that time.
Wow.
And I was shocked. This agent that was going to do 2 weeks ended up selling 111 shows, and we didn't go home for 9 months.
Wow. Now, what year did you guys come to Branson?
1997. September the 7th, 1997
wow.
is when we came to Branson.
Just to do a few fill-in dates on our national tour to see what Branson was all about.
Yeah. So you guys have been here really, over 25 years now?
Yeah, almost 26 in September.
Long time.
It's gone by fast.
Yeah, and so now you have grandkids in the show, right? I mean, so talk. How many family members are performing, I guess, in the show?
It is fluid. It changes all the time, and that's part of the fun, and our repeat customers love it. We have 7 young men who are on mission trips right now, and they were like a big, huge, important part of the show, and they will come back and, of course, participate again. But in the beginning, there were I don't know, almost 50 of us, I guess. We had all of the spouses, all of our children, all of their spouses, and a whole bunch of grandkids. And but then that's changed a bit over time. For example, this month, our son Joshua and his wife and children are coming to be in the show for the summer, and we're delighted about that. So some of them have their own companies now and their own businesses, and they're successful, but they're always still a part of the show. And we do reunion shows every year as well.
Okay, this is going to be a great place for us to stop. We're going to be back in just a minute with more about the Duttons. Hang tight. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson, and we're on a very special episode with Sheila and Dean Dutton. And you guys last year had a pretty big tragedy happen at the theater, and the theater burnt, like you guys had a fire.
That's right.
Yeah.
All started by a lit cigarette in a garbage can out front.
Yeah. And so you guys had to transition, and you moved over in that season to Yakov's theater for a while.
Yeah.
But now you're
for
back.
our fall season.
Yeah.
Yes, Yakov was so sweet to invite us to his theater, and we had a great autumn and Christmas season with him. And but then we went to our winter theater in Arizona, and now we're just returning back to Branson, and we're performing in our own theater again.
So you got a lot of new stuff inside. When you have smoke damage, you got to replace a lot of it. But I've got a picture here, folks, and this is what the theater is going to look like
From the front.
from the front when it's all done, and it's going to be awesome. We're so excited. But that's not what it looks like today.
No.
But it's coming, and you're still open, so you're still kind of under construction outside.
Yeah,
That's right,
We've
yeah.
been delighted that so many people have found us, actually, because we didn't know what would happen. We didn't have our brochures in racks yet, and we didn't have, and the front obviously looks like we're not open, but enough people, we've got enough followers that it's been really sweet to see the support.
The other thing, you talk about this musical journey, and I feel like we're only touching a little bit on it, but you guys have been on America's Got Talent. You guys have your own show, or you have had your own show on RFD TV Theater as well. Is that still going?
Yes.
Yeah, it's airing every Friday and every Tuesday on RFD.
And we have 4 complete seasons now.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Now there's something else that the rumor mill's been going around, that you guys are coming out with a new album.
That's right.
We-
We're excited about that.
we are, when you have tragedies in your life and you do the best you can, we are making a wonderful discovery, and that is that good happens to you. You just put your head down, smile, and try to get through it. And we not only have had the biggest tragedies of our lives, but we've had the biggest blessings of our lives. And one of them is this album that we were asked to do. We were asked to do it in Nashville. We didn't feel like we had time, and so we would just go. We went for 2 short periods, and we accomplished the impossible. We just felt we were being hugely blessed, and that that album is getting attention with a lot of people. The Dutton portion of it is complete, so we have 13 songs that we have recorded, and you may be hearing them locally. We're not going to release it nationally until we finish with the celebrities. So some engineer let some celebrity listen to the album, and they were so taken with it. To make a long story short, we have Steve Martin playing banjo. We're in negotiations with Keith Urban, with Alison Krauss and Robert Plant. Reba McEntire has asked to be on it.
Yeah.
And so we just...
That's really exciting.
Who would have thought? You know, so this summer we're in the process of recording all of the artists, and then there will be a TV special that will come out of this with the artists on the TV special.
So, out of the midst of difficulty, good things are coming. And I say that happens because, all of a sudden you're going to have this, big new facade on your theater. Probably wouldn't have happened if it hadn't caught fire.
That's
good
right.
things can happen out of bad situations.
We would not have done it.
Yeah.
One of the songs on the album is "Good Happens."
Yeah.
The album is kind of just a blessing and a focal point of our lives right now.
Yeah. So, folks, this is exciting news about this album coming up. If you're in Branson, even if you drive by the theater and you see some construction on the outside, realize that they are open on the inside. And then you guys have something else coming to your theater as well. Do you want to mention that?
Yes, in June. We don't have the exact date now, but we're going to be welcoming a new show into the theater called Where Jesus Walks. Yes. And that is going to be something brand new in Branson. It's in 360 degrees surround video and sound, and we have a fantastic, what do you call the guy? Narrator. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's going to be a different type. It's going to be totally different type of show, and so I think we're all anxious to see what that's going to be like. Here's the deal, folks. Here's what I love about the Duttons. When we think about Branson, we think about world-class family entertainment. And the Duttons are a perfect example of world-class family entertainment. You've been doing it for decades now. You're honing your craft. It's so cool because you didn't think about getting in this business, but it's kind of happened. And as you've done it year after year after year, the doors have been opened, and you guys are just doing awesome stuff. I love it. And you guys helped make it all happen. And so I just feel really blessed that you guys would take your time to come out and be on the show here.
We appreciate the invitation.
So tell people dates of the show. What times are the shows normally for the Duttons?
Right now we're running 4 shows a week. We have evenings at 8 o'clock on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, and then we have a matinee at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, and that will run through September.
And then you do more shows than even in the fall, and then the schedule kind of changes a little bit.
Yeah, we get up to 10 shows a week in the high season, you bet.
Yep, and you can find their theater kind of right across from Whitewater out on West 76 Country Boulevard. In fact, it used to be the old Boxcar Willie Theater. And I know there's a really neat story about how that all happened. We don't have time for that story today. You can watch a past episode with, I think, some of the kids that talked about that. So, do you guys still perform on stage with the kids?
Yes.
We do, and we love it, and life is great. It turned out different than I planned it, but it's just great. We just returned yesterday from a tour in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Hi to everybody in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And it was just wonderful. All the shows sold out, and it was just great to feel that wonderful energy on the road.
We were talking about tragedy, and you just made me think of that. At one point in time, you guys, your tour bus wrecked too. And in that case, nobody got hurt. I think you had some band instruments that got hurt. So even though in the midst of, once again, adversity, you guys have kept on entertaining people and kept on. So.
Yeah, during that accident, our bus was totaled.
Right.
And all 23 of the Duttons that live here in Branson were in it at the time, and everyone walked away from that accident without
Was-
serious injury.
Biggest miracle of our lives, and we
Yeah.
still thank the Lord for what
Yeah.
His protection.
Yeah. So, folks, this has been a special edition of Play Branson. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap the show up. We'd like to thank Dean and Sheila Dutton for stopping by the studio today. You can find them at 3454 West 76 Country Boulevard. Their shows are at 8 p.m. Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, and they have a 2 p.m. show on Wednesday through September. Then they add more dates and times October through December. There's also a new show at the Duttons, which we briefly highlighted, where Jesus walked an immersive experience. Next week's show, we have Candace Miller with a new show called Once Upon a Fairy Tale, and we'll learn more about that show. Upcoming events. There's lots of upcoming events. Starting May 26th, we have Hairball with special guest Moark Mojo at the Black Oak Amphitheater. May 27th, Matt Gumm is doing his special show over at the Clay Cooper Theater at 2 p.m. And then June 3rd, Travis Tritt with Corey Kent over at Black Oak Amphitheater. June 3rd, Michael W. Smith out at Silver Dollar City. June 3rd through July 16th, we have the summer celebration at Silver Dollar City. Nick Llewellyn's Xerxes is going to be out there. June 7th, the Grand Ladies of Country over at the Nashville Roadhouse Live. June 18th, Matt Gumm doing his special show once again over at the Clay Cooper Theater. June 22nd, the High School Musical Junior over at Owens Theater. And then June 30th, Chris Jansen out at Black Oak Amphitheater. So lots of different things going on in June. In July 1st, we get Stone Temple Pilots out at Black Oak Amphitheater. Craig Morgan's going to be at the Clay Cooper Theater on July 16th. Jeff Foxworthy, July 17th at Black Oak Amphitheater. It's been a while since he's been in Branson. Used to play at the Grand Palace back in the day. We have Kids Rock over on July 22nd and 23rd over at Clay Cooper Theater. Now, don't get that confused with Kid Rock. This is Kids Rock. And then July 27th through August 6th, we have Monty Python's Spam-A-Lot over at Owens Theater. And then August 18th, Justin Moore and Scotty McCreery at Black Oak Amphitheater, followed by Nelly on the 19th and August 23rd, live Loud tour with Tom Kiefer Winger and John Karobi. I think I'm pronouncing that last name wrong, but that's okay. August 24th through September 4th, we have the Southern Gospel Picnic out at Silver Dollar City. Lots of entertainers. Everybody from the Hoppers, the Sherry Easter, Triumphant Quartet, Karen Peck and New River, The Sound, Ernie Haas and Signature Sound, Gold City, the Isaacs, the Martins, and a ton more besides that. And then September 1st, we have Toby Mac over at Black Oak Amphitheater on September 1st, followed by Country Music Days, September 8th through the 10th out at Silver Dollar City. They'll have some name acts out there. And then the Oak Ridge Boys will be playing numerous dates at the Mansion Theater this fall, starting on September 20th and 21st with Jimmy Fortune. Also there on September 21st, and Gene Watson, September 22nd. So lots of special events coming up. Folks, be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on YouTube. And if you need help planning your Branson vacation, you need show schedules, you need to know what's playing when, be sure to go to ibranson.com. You can book it all online, or you can call them at 1-877-ENTERTAIN. We'll see you next week on Play Branson.